Hello everyone and welcome to Power Move. Today we're going to learn about 15 psychological tricks to look out for. Now, let's begin. Number 1. Playing the clock. This common psychological technique is used by countless salesmen, and not only does it wear down their customers, but it also weakens their resolve until a no slowly turns into a yes. The trick itself is extremely simple. All you do is keep someone in one location for as long as you can. Each time that they try to leave, you find a new reason to keep them around. You pass them to a different salesman, and then you get them another more enticing pitch. You bring in your manager or someone with authority, and even if you've said no a dozen times, a salesman only needs one yes to make a sale. So many salesmen will play the clock instead of accepting the fact that you're just not interested. Eventually, they may stall you out. They throw so many convincing details at you that you start to change your mind and you say yes simply because you just want to leave. It's not the most ethical strategy in the world, but a sale is a sale. So don't you ever let a savvy salesman manipulate you with this psychological trick ever again. Number 2. Calculated affirmation. If someone wants you to like them, body language is a very powerful tool. A smile or a nod may convince you that you're making a great impression or that someone is interested in what you have to say. But these body language cues are easy to fabricate, especially if someone wants to get on your good side. For example, many people use body language to show how intently that they're listening to you, even if they really don't care what you have to say. So, how can you tell the difference? Some people pick out one word or one phrase and nod every time you use that word or phrase. This psychological trick manipulates your impression of this person and shows you that someone cares, even if they don't. So don't let anyone fool you with their fake body language. Number 3. Mirroring. Mirroring is another way people use body language to their advantage. But if you're not paying close attention, this psychological technique will fly under your radar. Mirroring is when someone mimes your behavior to create a better impression, but people also use mirroring to make themselves seem more convincing, more likable, or more memorable. If someone is trying to copy your behavior, try to find the reason why. Do they want to connect with you, or are they just trying to make you believe something that you normally wouldn't? Mirroring isn't the only manipulative technique out there. Some people will try to influence your opinion by nodding their heads as you answer or smiling every time you say something that they like. Now, all of these techniques use body language to change your opinions, so watch out for these very powerful psychological tricks. Number 4, emphasizing gains. Now, this one is another way people may try to influence you. Emphasizing gains means that you're framing every deal in terms of profit. Are you going to make more money? Are you going to live a better lifestyle? The more positive things they tell you, well, the easier it'll be to change your mind. But don't let these gains pull the wool over your eyes. Pay very close attention to the positives and also the negatives, and remember that people don't always tell you the whole truth. Have you ever seen one of these get rich quick or online earning opportunities? Yes, they use this very technique a lot of the time. It's difficult to find where the real thing lies. It's out there, but it's also in the crowd with so many other emphasizing gains. So you just have to be extremely careful. Number 5, expensive decoys. Many salesmen use decoys to charge customers more than they expected to spend. Alright, let's say you want to buy a TV for around $500, but you see one at the front of the store for $2,000. Oh yeah, it's loaded with all kinds of special features, but it's way out of your price range. So you mention this to a salesman who tells you that they have a similar TV that's $1,000 less. Of course, you jump at the idea. Now, who wouldn't want to save $1,000, right? But you didn't actually save $1,000, did you? In fact, you went $500 over your budget. You walked into the store with a price in mind, but you fell for the decoy and you spent way more than you expected to spend. Number 6, speedy arguments. Now, there are so many people who try to win arguments by talking quickly. The goal is to give your opponent less time to process what you're saying, which makes you seem more convincing. But this psychological trick really works if you know what to look for when someone is rushing. Don't fall for this sloppy argumentative style. More often than not, your opponent is rushing because they know their argument is weak. So you should slow the conversation down. Be analytical and make sure that you're going through every minute detail, and 9 times out of 10, you will win the argument. Number 7, implied urgency. Now, this is another common sales technique. Imagine that you're buying a car. You express interest in a model that's waiting outside, but you're not sure if it's right for you. Suddenly, the salesperson tells you that the car is only going to last through the end of the week. And out of nowhere, you feel compelled to buy that car. Why? Because your brain is drawn to things that are limited and are special. It wants what you can't have. So giving you a deadline sparks your interest tenfold. Whenever you're going to make a purchase, make sure urgency isn't clouding your judgment. So take a step back, think through your decision, and then make your move. By the way, how would that salesperson know that it won't last until tomorrow or next month? No one really knows. So be very analytical. Number 8, afternoon slump. Do you get tired and lethargic in the afternoons? Has your coffee worn off? You're exhausted from a long day at work? And you're ready to go home? Naturally, your brain isn't as focused in these tired hours of the day. Some people will take advantage of your exhaustion because at the end of the day, your resolve tends to weaken. You're more susceptible to pressure and you're less focused on the impact of your decisions. So watch out for people who prey on your impulsive decisions. If someone needs you to make a decision, tell them you'll handle it in the morning. Number 9, starting small. Has a friend ever asked you for money? Did you give it to them? When asking for favors or borrowing money, people use a common trick to take advantage of their lenders. Alright, let's say I need $20, but instead of asking you for 20, I ask for 100. You're going to say that's way too much. So I say, okay, could I just borrow $20 then? And suddenly out of nowhere, $20 doesn't seem like much at all, which means you're much more likely to lend it to me. This is a very powerful trick and can be used on anything from errands to paperwork. So just keep an eye out for this misleading psychological technique. I know some of you have used it before, haven't you? Numero 10, reframing questions. A good salesman will continuously reframe their questions to increase the likelihood of a sale. Alright, here's a very popular example. A salesman might ask you how much are you willing to pay instead of telling you directly how much something is worth. They let you name your price, and most of the time, customers overshoot the actual price, so they end up paying more than they bargained for. Number 11, decision trapping. You can also reframe questions like this. A salesman might say, if I could get this price down $100, would you be willing to buy this item right now? By reframing this question, the salesman is trying to trap you into a decision. They act like they are trying to help you, but they're really using your own words against you. Many people end up purchasing the items simply because they feel trapped. So remember that you always have the power to say no. And just because they lowered the price just for you, hey, that doesn't mean you have to make the purchase. You still have the power to say no. Number 12, closing in. What other ways can someone get closer to you or to get on your good side? They may hover around you as often as they can. unknown to you, your brain caters to the most familiar people and faces in your life. So the more time you spend around someone, the better you'll treat them, and the same goes for nearness. If someone wants to stay in your favor, they'll go out of their way to sit closer to you, and your brain will unconsciously reward them. Number 13, preying on fears. After making a large purchase, many salesmen keep pushing. They have just taken a huge chunk of your money, but they still want more. So they may take advantage of your fears to tack on a higher price tag. Alright, let's go back to our previous example. After purchasing a car, you're rarely done spending money. Instead, the salesman may continue to push add-ons and extras. Each item is another 100 or 1,000 tacked onto the original price, and boy, do those add up quickly. But if you try to say no, they will remind you how much money you just spent on your car. They'll tell you how easy it is to get in an accident or to get a big scratch that you'll never be able to fix, and just like that, the salesman is using your worries against you. Has this ever worked with you? Let me know in the comment section below. The penultimate psychological trick to look out for: intentional confusion. Sometimes people say confusing things on purpose. Confusion is one of the many methods to manipulate other people. If you're selling something or just need a favor, a confusing request may trick people into taking more than they bargained for. So don't get caught up in all those confusing details. Before you agree to anything, make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into. And by doing that, you will never ever be blindsided by your own misunderstanding. And the last one, displaying extremes. How could someone convince you that you're wrong? They might twist your words by emphasizing the most extreme version of your perspective. Whether it's political, economic, or philosophical, extremes may make viewpoints seem rather ridiculous or even ill-informed. This misconception turns people against their own opinions, winning the arguments most instantly, but you don't have to fall for this psychological trick. Pay close attention to the ways people twist words, because they're twisting them for a reason. Hey guys, thank you for watching to the very end. Now with Power Move, you are in safe hands. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also connect with me on Instagram at dr_Freckleton. It's on the screen right now. It's also in the description below. Also, if you're on social media but you're not getting paid to be on social media, there will be a link in the description that actually shows you how you could just be regular on your Instagram page and also make money just by doing that. So go ahead, feel free to explore the many options out there. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. You have been awesome. I've been Dei. Walk good.